Govberg, and welcome to our channel. Thank you for logging on, and I will be your guide to the proper usage and care of your Zenith Defy El Primero 21. Now, this is an automatic winding watch, at least in the sense that the caseback winding mass uses the kinetic energy of the wrist to wind the time-telling organs of the watch. But this watch has two power reserves and two escapements. You can only wind the chronograph in a manual fashion by taking the crown in its first position flush to the case and turning it clockwise. You can see the power reserve scale tracing the 50 minutes of chronograph power reserve right up at 12 o'clock, and you simply turn in a clockwise direction until the hand reaches the end of its travel. Now you've energized your chronograph. Because there are two power trains, two escapements, and two power reserves, you can absolutely have one side of the watch, chronograph or civil time, operating independently of the other. So you can run the chronograph when the watch isn't keeping time, and the watch can keep time when the chronograph isn't wound. But you'll want them both wound, and if you wish to do so using the crown, turn in the first position flush to the case in a counterclockwise direction. That will wind the time-telling organs of the watch. The 10 beat per second escapement is wound by turning counterclockwise. By turning clockwise, you wind the chronograph, the 100 beat per second time-telling organ. You can also see that there are several different time-telling displays on the dial side, just underneath, and we'll demonstrate a few features here, but just underneath the minute hand is the constant seconds tri-spoke. That runs whether the chronograph is active or not. You'll appreciate that there is a 60-second register for the chronograph at 6 o'clock, and there is a 30-minute register for the chronograph at 3. You're looking at two separate escapements. One of them is the automatically wound civil time. It's important to note that when you pull the crown out and you stop that balance, you go into setting mode, it will not stop the chronograph. The only way to stop the chronograph is to use the chronograph pusher to physically halt its action. They're independent systems. Now let's talk a little bit about using the chronograph, and then we'll talk about setting the watch. The chronograph is always used in the following fashion: start, stop, and reset. Now it's important to note you want to push it good, because the system can sometimes get out of sync if you don't use just enough force to reset. You saw how the 60-second display resets separately from the minutes. Always make sure you use proper body English. Also, be certain that you properly sequence. Don't ever attempt to reset while the chronograph is in operation, or you could crash the movement and cause grave damage. Always stop and reset. Now, let's talk about setting. I pulled the crown out before, and you can see the balance stopped, the tri-spoke halted. This is setting mode. If you wish, you can wait for one of the tri-spoke references to arrive at a fixed point, and that can effectively be your 0 seconds, but because it is symmetrical, the best thing to do is simply pull the crown out, look up an online reference that's accurate to your time zone, such as an atomic clock, set the watch to the time that you see on your reference, and then push that crown back down. The timepiece, of course, automatic winding, 100 meters water resistant, and blessed with a chronograph, must be handled in a smart fashion befitting a luxury timepiece. So how do you protect that which is inside? By acknowledging that that which is outside, the 100-meter water resistant case, requires your help. We'll talk about hazards now. Water resistance, magnetism, and shock. So the timepiece is 100 meters water resistant, but keep in mind that leather, a natural porous material as featured on the strap, is never water resistant. So the watch is suitable for swimming, but you should swap out to a full textile or rubber Zenith strap before you immerse the watch. Always dry the leather if it should become moist. It's also important to remember that you can help avoid accidental drowning. Do not use any of the crown or chronograph functions, not just while the watch is in water, but while it's wet. Treat a wet watch as a submerged watch. Don't actuate any functions, don't wind, don't set, as this can all bypass the case seals if there's water on the controls when you use them. Also important to remember, water resistance, unlike mechanical specification, is not a static feature of your watch, and over time, as seals age and lubricants degrade, your watch will be relatively less water resistant than when it left the factory. Therefore, Zenith recommends, on an annual basis, at minimum, having your watch dry water tested at an authorized Zenith point of sale. This can be done for free using quick and easy dry water test procedures. It's important to remember that Water is an obvious hazard because it's tangible. You can see it. Magnetism, on the other hand, is both ubiquitous and invisible. You'll find it in the closures of wallets and purses, refrigerator doors, powerful electromagnets such as wiring harnesses, long wires, personal devices, personal computers, and remember, speakers and subwoofers, including those in the keyboard of your laptop, all can magnetize the hairspring at the center of your watch's heartbeat. A magnetized watch will run erratically, either very quickly or slowly. And if you suspect that your watch has become magnetized, the best thing you can do is take it to a Zenith authorized service center or dealer where specialized equipment is available to quickly and easily demagnetize the watch. Shock and concussion, however, can cause more lasting effects on your timepiece. At a minimum, shock and concussion can alter the precision of your watch, causing it to run untrue. Maximally, shock and concussion can damage the case, compromise water resistance, crack or discharge sapphire crystals, or even break the movement, requiring parts replacement and extensive service. Therefore, Zenith recommends that you discontinue use of the watch during concussive activities such as batting, tennis, or golf, firearms marksmanship, or the riding of motorcycles, ATVs, or mountain bikes. Ultimately, every fine mechanical timepiece requires a comprehensive service periodically, per Zenith every 3 to 5 years. The best time to have the total condition of your watch checked is during your annual water test at an authorized dealer. You can have everything from physical condition to strap condition to water test, hermeticity, as well as chronometric precision tested, and if service is required, do so solely with the Zenith factory or factory authorized service centers, as these agencies exclusively have the trained personnel, specialized tools, and original Zenith factory replacement parts to protect the value of your watch as both instrument and as investment. Moreover, only these agencies are authorized to back all labor and parts invested with a Zenith factory service warranty. Finally, visit our website at govbergwatches.com and call, text, or email our experts who will be happy to walk you through every phase of the ownership of this or any Zenith timepiece.